The life of Hazrat Usman Ghani is a beacon of faith, generosity, and unwavering dedication to Islam. As the third Caliph of Islam, he holds a unique position in Islamic history. Born into the noble Banu Umayyah clan of the Quraysh, Hazrat Usman Ghani was known for his remarkable character even before accepting Islam. His honesty, humility, and generosity earned him respect among his people, qualities that only deepened after he embraced the message of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH. Known as Dun Nurain, or the possessor of two lights, Hazrat Usman Ghani holds the distinction of marrying two daughters of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH, Ruqayya and, after her passing, Kulthum. This title alone signifies his closeness to the Prophet PBUH and his elevated status in the early Muslim community. His devotion to the Prophet's PBUH cause was unwavering, whether it was providing financial support during times of need, participating in critical moments of Islamic history, or spreading the message of Islam with his calm and compassionate demeanor. Hazrat Usman Ghani's caliphate was marked by remarkable achievements and monumental challenges. Under his leadership, the Muslim empire expanded to new territories, spreading Islam to regions far beyond Arabia. His foresight and dedication to preserving the Quran in a single, standardized mushaf ensured the protection of Allah's word for generations to come. However, his tenure as caliph was not without trials. He faced significant internal discord and political strife, yet he maintained his composure, adhering firmly to the principles of peace and justice as taught by the Prophet Muhammad PBUH. Despite his immense contributions to Islam, Hazrat Usman Ghani's life came to a tragic end. His patience in the face of rebellion and his refusal to shed Muslim blood, even at the cost of his own life, demonstrate his unparalleled dedication to Islamic values. His martyrdom left a profound mark on Islamic history, serving as a testament to his faith and commitment to the unity of the Muslim Ummah. Hazrat Usman Ghani's life offers countless lessons for Muslims today. His piety, generosity, and leadership continue to inspire millions. Through his example, we learn the importance of standing firm in our beliefs, serving humanity with kindness, and seeking unity even in the face of adversity. Indeed, the legacy of Hazrat Usman Ghani is one of timeless inspiration and profound respect, reminding us of the enduring values that form the foundation of Islam. Hazrat Usman Ghani was born into the esteemed Banu Umayyah clan of the Quraysh tribe, one of the most respected and influential tribes of Makkah. Known for their wealth, honor, and leadership, the Banu Umayyah carried great prestige in Arab society. Hazrat Usman's lineage was noble, as he descended from a family renowned for its wisdom, generosity, and fairness. His father, Affan ibn Abi al-As, was a wealthy merchant, and his mother, Arwa bint Qurayz, was a relative of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH from the lineage of Abdul Muttalib. This noble ancestry imbued Hazrat Usman Ghani with values of integrity, compassion, and humility from an early age. From his youth, Hazrat Usman Ghani was admired for his refined character. He was known for his modesty, truthfulness, and generosity, qualities that made him stand out among his contemporaries. Even before accepting Islam, his reputation as a man of trust and kindness earned him immense respect in Makkah. He was a successful merchant, skillfully expanding his family's trade business while maintaining an impeccable reputation for fairness and honesty in his dealings. This success not only brought him wealth but also positioned him as a role model for ethical business practices in a society that often exploited the weak. When the message of Islam began to spread, Hazrat Usman Ghani was among the earliest converts. His heart was drawn to the truth of the teachings brought by the Prophet Muhammad PBUH. Introduced to Islam by his close friend and future caliph, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Usman immediately embraced the faith without hesitation. His acceptance of Islam came at a time when Muslims were a small and persecuted minority in Makkah. This decision demonstrated his courage and his willingness to endure hardships for the sake of Allah's truth. Hazrat Usman Ghani's early sacrifices for Islam were remarkable. Upon accepting the faith, he faced significant opposition from his family and tribe. The Quraysh, threatened by the growing influence of Islam, sought to pressure him into renouncing his belief. However, his unwavering commitment to Allah and his messenger, the Prophet Muhammad PBUH, gave him the strength to withstand these challenges. His resilience and determination inspired others to hold firm to their faith, even in the face of adversity. A particularly significant moment in his early life was his marriage to Ruqayya, the beloved daughter of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH. This union brought Hazrat Usman Ghani even closer to the Prophet PBUH and deepened his commitment to the mission of Islam. When Ruqayya passed away during the Battle of Badr, the Prophet Muhammad PBUH offered Hazrat Usman the hand of his second daughter, Kulthum, earning him the honorific title of Dun Nurain, or the possessor of two lights. This unique title highlights his unparalleled connection to the Prophet's PBUH family and his esteemed place in Islamic history. Hazrat Usman Ghani's early contributions to the Muslim community extended beyond personal sacrifices. He played an active role in supporting the fledgling Muslim Ummah, both materially and spiritually. His wealth, which Allah had blessed him with, became a source of immense benefit to the believers. From financing expeditions to freeing slaves, Hazrat Usman Ghani's generosity knew no bounds. This selfless commitment to the welfare of the Muslim community would become a hallmark of his life and legacy. Through his early life, Hazrat Usman Ghani demonstrated an extraordinary balance of humility, strength, and faith. His noble upbringing, virtuous character, and steadfast dedication to Islam laid the foundation for the remarkable contributions he would make as one of the closest companions of the Prophet Muhammad PBUH and a future Caliph of the Muslim Ummah. Hazrat Usman Ghani's journey toward Islam marked a transformative chapter in his life, not just for him personally but also for the nascent Muslim Ummah. Raised in the prestigious Banu Umayyah clan, Hazrat Usman enjoyed a life of affluence, respect, and privilege in Makkah. Yet, despite his elevated social standing, he felt drawn to a higher truth, one that resonated with his pure heart and upright character. This quest for truth ultimately led him to embrace Islam, a decision that changed the course of his life and left an indelible mark on Islamic history. Hazrat Usman's introduction to Islam came through his close friend Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, who had already accepted the message of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Hazrat Abu Bakr, known for his wisdom and influence, spoke to Hazrat Usman about the teachings of Islam and the divine message revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His words struck a chord in Hazrat Usman's heart, for they echoed the values of monotheism, honesty, and compassion that he had always held dear. Without hesitation, he sought out the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and embraced Islam, becoming one of its earliest converts. The decision to accept Islam was not without its challenges. Makkah at the time was a city steeped in idol worship, where the Quraysh viewed the new faith as a threat to their traditions and power. Hazrat Usman's conversion was met with resistance and hostility, particularly from his own clan, the Banu Umayyah, who saw it as a betrayal of their ancestral beliefs. Despite the immense pressure to renounce his newfound faith, Hazrat Usman remained steadfast, demonstrating his unwavering belief in the oneness of Allah and the truth of the Prophet Muhammad's peace be upon him message. Hazrat Usman's conversion brought with it a profound sense of purpose. He recognized the transformative potential of Islam, not just for individuals but for society as a whole. His acceptance of the faith was not merely a personal decision but a commitment to supporting the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in his mission to establish justice, equality, and monotheism. This commitment was evident in his actions, as he became a pillar of support for the struggling Muslim community. One of Hazrat Usman's earliest sacrifices for Islam came during the persecution of Muslims in Makkah. As the Quraysh intensified their efforts to suppress the new faith, Hazrat Usman endured hardships alongside his fellow believers. His wealth, which had been a source of privilege, now became a means of aiding the Muslim cause. He used his resources to support the poor, assist those in need, and provide for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions. A pivotal moment in Hazrat Usman's early Islamic journey was his migration to Abyssinia. As the persecution in Makkah escalated, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised some of his followers to seek refuge in Abyssinia, where a just Christian king ruled. Hazrat Usman, along with his wife Ruqayya, the beloved daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was among those who undertook this journey. The migration demonstrated his willingness to endure personal sacrifices for the sake of his faith, leaving behind his wealth and status in Makkah for a life of uncertainty in a foreign land. Upon returning to Makkah, Hazrat Usman continued to play a vital role in the Muslim community. His unshakable belief in the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his message earned him the respect and admiration of his fellow believers. His devotion to Islam was evident not only in his words but also in his deeds, as he consistently prioritized the welfare of the Ummah over his own comfort and security. The conversion of Hazrat Usman Ghani to Islam was a testament to his moral courage and spiritual insight. His decision to accept the message of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, at a time when it brought only hardship and persecution underscored his sincerity and strength of character. It was a life-changing decision that set the stage for his future contributions as one of the most beloved companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and a cornerstone of the Islamic community. Hazrat Usman Ghani holds a unique honor among the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was twice married to the daughters of the Prophet, peace be upon him, earning him the esteemed title of Dhul Nurain, meaning the possessor of two lights. This title reflects not only his unparalleled relationship with the Prophet, peace be upon him, but also his elevated status within the Muslim community. The first marriage occurred when Hazrat Usman married Ruqayya, the second daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Hazrat Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her. Ruqayya was known for her exceptional beauty, grace, and piety, qualities that made her a perfect match for Hazrat Usman, whose own character was marked by humility, generosity, and faith. Their union was a blessed one, bringing immense joy to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who admired Hazrat Usman's devotion to Islam and his kindness toward his wife. The couple shared a deep bond, marked by mutual love and support. Their marriage was tested during the early years of Islam, as they endured the hardships faced by the Muslim community in Makkah. One of their most significant trials was their migration to Abyssinia, where they sought refuge from the persecution of the Quraysh. Hazrat Usman demonstrated his steadfastness and protective nature during this journey, ensuring the safety and comfort of Ruqayya in an unfamiliar land. Tragically, their happiness was cut short during the Battle of Badr. While Hazrat Usman was excused from participating in the battle to care for Ruqayya, who had fallen gravely ill, she passed away before he could rejoin the Muslim ranks. Her death left Hazrat Usman in deep sorrow, but it also strengthened his resolve to continue serving Islam with unwavering dedication. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, moved by Hazrat Usman's loss and recognizing his exceptional character, offered him the hand of his third daughter, Kulthum, in marriage. This second union was another testament to the immense respect and affection the Prophet, peace be upon him, had for Hazrat Usman. The marriage brought renewed happiness to Hazrat Usman, who cherished Kulthum and treated her with the same love and care he had shown Ruqayya. Kulthum's marriage to Hazrat Usman was similarly blessed, though short-lived. She too passed away during the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, leaving Hazrat Usman grief-stricken once again. Despite these personal losses, his faith and commitment to the Muslim community never wavered. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "If I had another daughter, I would have married her to Usman." This statement underscores the extraordinary qualities of Hazrat Usman and the deep trust and affection the Prophet, peace be upon him, had for him. His marriages to Ruqayya and Kulthum not only brought him closer to the Prophet, peace be upon him, but also highlighted his noble character, which endeared him to all who knew him. Hazrat Usman's role as the husband of two of the Prophet's, peace be upon him, daughters exemplifies his unique place in Islamic history. These marriages were not merely personal relationships but also spiritual partnerships that reinforced his dedication to the faith. Through his love and care for Ruqayya and Kulthum, Hazrat Usman demonstrated the values of compassion, respect, and faithfulness that define an ideal Muslim spouse. In both Makkah and Madinah, Hazrat Usman Ghani emerged as a pillar of unwavering support for the Muslim community, demonstrating his exceptional commitment to the cause of Islam. His contributions, from his early acceptance of the faith to his unparalleled generosity, played a pivotal role in strengthening the foundations of the nascent Muslim community. In Makkah, Hazrat Usman Ghani's acceptance of Islam was a significant event. Coming from the noble and affluent Banu Umayyah clan, his conversion to the faith not only brought prestige to the Muslim community but also inspired others to reflect on the truth of Islam. However, his newfound faith came at a cost. Hazrat Usman endured severe opposition from his own family, including physical abuse and social ostracism. Despite these challenges, his resolve remained steadfast, setting an example of patience and perseverance for other early converts. Hazrat Usman's wealth became a key asset for the struggling Muslim community in Makkah. At a time when many Muslims faced economic hardships due to persecution and boycotts, he used his financial resources to provide for those in need. His generosity was not merely transactional but deeply rooted in his faith and empathy. His contributions helped ease the suffering of many companions, earning him the enduring respect and admiration of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The migration to Abyssinia further highlighted Hazrat Usman's commitment to Islam. Alongside his wife, Ruqayya, he participated in this challenging journey to ensure the safety and well-being of fellow Muslims. His role during this migration demonstrated his willingness to sacrifice personal comfort for the greater good of the faith. In Medina, Hazrat Usman's contributions became even more pronounced. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, established a new Muslim society, and Hazrat Usman was among the prominent companions who actively supported this mission. One of his most significant acts was the purchase of the well of Rumah. This well was a vital source of water for the people of Medina, but it was controlled by a merchant who exploited its scarcity. Hazrat Usman bought the well with his wealth and made its water freely available to the community. This selfless act alleviated a critical need and showcased his dedication to serving the Muslim Ummah. Hazrat Usman Ghani also participated in significant events that shaped the early Muslim community in Medina. During the construction of the Prophet's Mosque, he contributed both physically and financially to its completion. His involvement reflected his eagerness to take part in every endeavor that strengthened the unity and spirituality of the community. His contributions extended to military campaigns as well. Although Hazrat Usman was exempted from the Battle of Badr due to his wife Ruqayya's illness, he provided financial support to equip the Muslim army. In subsequent battles, including Uhud and the Trench, he remained a steadfast supporter, using his resources to ensure that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions had the necessary supplies. One of the most remarkable instances of Hazrat Usman's generosity occurred during the campaign of Tabuk. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, made an appeal for resources to support the Muslim army. Hazrat Usman responded by donating an enormous amount of wealth, including gold coins, camels, and provisions. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was so moved by this act that he said, "After this day, no deed of Usman will harm him." This statement underscored the immense value of his contributions to Islam. In addition to his material support, Hazrat Usman Ghani's wisdom and counsel were invaluable to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. As a close companion, he often provided advice on matters of governance and diplomacy, contributing to the stability of the Muslim community. His calm demeanor, humility, and trustworthiness made him a key figure in the Prophet's, peace be upon him, inner circle. Throughout his time in Makkah and Medina, Hazrat Usman Ghani exemplified the qualities of a true believer. His unwavering faith, generosity, and commitment to the welfare of the Muslim community solidified his position as a pillar of support for Islam. These contributions not only strengthened the Muslim Ummah during its formative years but also set a lasting example of service and devotion that continues to inspire generations. When Hazrat Usman Ghani assumed the mantle of leadership as the third caliph, it marked a critical period of growth and challenges for the Islamic State. Following the passing of Hazrat Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, the responsibility to govern the rapidly expanding Muslim empire rested on the shoulders of Hazrat Usman, a man known for his piety, humility, and generosity. His tenure witnessed significant advancements in administration and governance, but it also faced unprecedented trials that would shape the future of the Muslim Ummah. Hazrat Usman Ghani was chosen as caliph after a meticulous process led by a council of 6 prominent companions, appointed by Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, before his passing. The council deliberated carefully, and Hazrat Usman's character, coupled with his long-standing contributions to Islam, made him the preferred choice. His appointment was met with widespread approval, reflecting the trust and respect he commanded among the companions and the wider Muslim community. Under Hazrat Usman's leadership, the Muslim empire continued to expand. The territories conquered during the caliphates of Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, were consolidated, and new lands were brought under Islamic rule. This expansion extended the reach of Islam into regions such as North Africa, Persia, and parts of Central Asia, making the Muslim empire one of the largest in the world at that time. Hazrat Usman appointed capable governors and military commanders to manage these territories, ensuring the smooth functioning of a vast and diverse state. One of the most notable achievements of Hazrat Usman's caliphate was the compilation and standardization of the Quran. As Islam spread to non-Arab regions, linguistic and dialectical variations began to emerge in the recitation of the Quran. Concerned about the potential for divisions among Muslims, Hazrat Usman ordered the creation of a standardized copy of the Quran in the Qurayshi dialect, which was the dialect in which the Quran was revealed. This monumental task was carried out under his direct supervision by a team of trusted companions who were well versed in the Quran. The standardized copies were then sent to major cities, and all other versions were respectfully destroyed to prevent confusion. This effort preserved the purity of the Quran and unified the Muslim community in their worship, earning Hazrat Usman the enduring title of Jami al-Quran, the compiler of the Quran. Despite these successes, Hazrat Usman's caliphate was not without challenges. The rapid expansion of the empire brought about complex administrative and social issues. Managing a vast and diverse population with varying cultures, languages, and traditions was an immense task. Hazrat Usman relied on trusted family members and close associates to govern key regions, a practice that some critics viewed as favoritism. While these appointments were often based on merit, they became a source of contention, particularly among factions who felt excluded from power. Economic disparities also began to surface during his reign. The wealth generated from conquests and trade enriched certain segments of society, leading to grievances among others who felt marginalized. Hazrat Usman's generous nature and his efforts to address these issues were often misunderstood or exploited by his opponents, fueling discontent among certain groups. The political climate during Hazrat Usman's caliphate was further complicated by the emergence of factions within the Muslim community. These factions were driven by personal ambitions, tribal loyalties, and ideological differences. Some of these groups began to spread rumors and false accusations against Hazrat Usman, questioning his leadership and decisions. Despite his unwavering commitment to justice and transparency, the caliph faced increasing opposition, which eventually escalated into open rebellion. Hazrat Usman Ghani's response to these challenges reflected his profound sense of responsibility and his adherence to Islamic principles. He remained patient and steadfast in the face of criticism, always prioritizing the unity of the Muslim Ummah over personal interests. He consistently sought to resolve disputes through dialogue and consultation, embodying the qualities of a true servant of Allah. One of the most trying moments of Hazrat Usman's caliphate was the siege of his house in Medina. Dissidents from various regions, fueled by misinformation and political motives, surrounded his residence, demanding his abdication. Despite the volatile situation, Hazrat Usman refused to resort to violence, even when companions and loyal supporters offered to defend him. He was deeply committed to avoiding bloodshed among Muslims, emphasizing the sanctity of life and the importance of maintaining peace. During the siege, Hazrat Usman displayed remarkable faith and trust in Allah. He spent his days in prayer, fasting, and recitation of the Quran, seeking solace in his devotion. He remained firm in his conviction that his leadership was a divine trust and that he would not abandon it under pressure. His refusal to step down was not a matter of pride but a reflection of his belief in the principles of justice and accountability. The tragic end of Hazrat Usman's caliphate came when the rebels breached his house and martyred him while he was reciting the Quran. His assassination marked a turning point in Islamic history, as it was the first instance of internal strife leading to the death of a caliph. The loss of Hazrat Usman was deeply mourned by the companions and the wider Muslim community, who recognized his immense contributions to Islam and his unwavering commitment to justice. Hazrat Usman Ghani's tenure as the third caliph was a time of great growth and challenges for the Muslim Ummah. His leadership witnessed remarkable achievements, including the expansion of the empire, the standardization of the Quran, and the establishment of administrative structures that laid the foundation for future governance. At the same time, his caliphate highlighted the complexities of managing a diverse and rapidly growing state, as well as the challenges of maintaining unity in the face of emerging divisions. The legacy of Hazrat Usman Ghani continues to inspire Muslims around the world. His life exemplifies the qualities of a true leader: humility, generosity, patience, and unwavering faith in Allah. His contributions to Islam and his steadfastness in the face of adversity remain a testament to his remarkable character and his enduring commitment to the principles of justice and service. Hazrat Usman Ghani, may Allah be pleased with him, is remembered in Islamic history as one of the most generous and selfless companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His acts of charity and sakawat generosity not only earned him the title of Ghani, the generous, but also played a vital role in the early growth and stability of the Muslim Ummah. His wealth, which he used solely for the sake of Allah, became a powerful tool to serve the community, spread Islam, and provide for those in need. Born into the wealthy and noble clan of Banu Umayyah, Hazrat Usman inherited significant wealth from his family. Unlike many, he saw his wealth not as a personal privilege but as a trust from Allah to be used for the betterment of others. His generosity was a reflection of his deep faith and understanding of the temporary nature of worldly possessions. From the early days of Islam, Hazrat Usman's financial contributions proved to be a lifeline for the struggling Muslim community. One of the most famous instances of Hazrat Usman's generosity occurred during the expedition to Tabuk. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, called upon the companions to contribute towards the preparation of the army, Hazrat Usman stepped forward with an unparalleled donation. He provided 300 fully equipped camels along with 1,000 dinars, a contribution so significant that the Prophet, peace be upon him, remarked, "After this day, nothing will harm Usman, no matter what he does." This statement reflects the immense value of his selfless act in the sight of Allah and His Messenger. Hazrat Usman's generosity was not limited to military campaigns. In Madinah, he purchased a well-known as Bi'r-e-Rumah from a Jewish owner who was charging exorbitant prices for water. Hazrat Usman paid a large sum to buy the well and made it walk, a charitable endowment ensuring that the people of Madinah, particularly the poor, could access water freely. This act of charity fulfilled a critical need in the community and earned him immense gratitude and blessings. His commitment to serving the Muslim community extended to infrastructure and public welfare. During his caliphate, the expansion of Masjid al-Nabawi, the Prophet's mosque, in Madinah was a significant achievement. As the Muslim population grew, the mosque became insufficient to accommodate the increasing number of worshippers. Hazrat Usman personally financed the expansion, purchasing adjacent land at a high cost to make space for the extension. This project not only facilitated worship for the Muslims but also reflected his vision of fostering a united and strong Ummah. Another notable instance of his sakawat was during a time of famine in Madinah. A large caravan of goods belonging to Hazrat Usman arrived in the city, loaded with food supplies desperately needed by the people. Traders offered him substantial profits to purchase the goods, but Hazrat Usman refused, saying, "Allah has already promised me more." He distributed the entire stock among the needy for free, ensuring that no one in Madinah went hungry. This act of kindness reinforced his reputation as a man who prioritized the welfare of others above personal gain. Hazrat Usman's generosity extended beyond material wealth. His time, counsel, and efforts were devoted to serving the Muslim community. He was known for his humility and accessibility, often personally assisting those in need. His leadership during his caliphate exemplified this spirit of service, as he worked tirelessly to address the challenges of a rapidly expanding empire while remaining attentive to the needs of the people. His acts of charity were not driven by a desire for recognition or status but by a profound sense of accountability to Allah. Hazrat Usman understood that wealth was a test and a responsibility. He often reminded others of the impermanence of worldly possessions and the eternal rewards of giving in the path of Allah. His life was a testament to the Quranic verse, "Who is it that will lend Allah a goodly loan so that He may multiply it for him many times over? And it is Allah who withholds and grants abundance, and to Him you will be returned." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:245. Even in his final days, during the siege of his house in Madinah, Hazrat Usman's generosity remained evident. Despite being surrounded by rebels and cut off from the city, he refused to allow any of his supporters to resort to violence to protect him. Instead, he relied on his faith and prayer, continuing to embody the spirit of selflessness and sacrifice that defined his life. Hazrat Usman Ghani's generosity left an indelible mark on the history of Islam. His wealth, used in the service of Allah and His Messenger, peace be upon him, became a source of countless blessings for the Muslim Ummah. His legacy continues to inspire Muslims around the world, reminding them of the virtues of charity, humility, and unwavering faith. Through his acts of sakawat, Hazrat Usman Ghani not only strengthened the foundations of the Islamic State but also demonstrated the true essence of being a servant of Allah. Hazrat Usman Ghani, may Allah be pleased with him, faced some of the most challenging trials during his caliphate. As the third Caliph of Islam, he inherited a rapidly growing empire, spanning diverse cultures, beliefs, and political landscapes. His leadership was characterized by a deep commitment to justice, unity, and the principles of Islam. However, the latter part of his reign was marked by internal strife, opposition, and upheaval. Despite these challenges, Hazrat Usman remained steadfast, exhibiting exemplary patience, wisdom, and faith. When Hazrat Usman assumed the role of Caliph, the Islamic Empire was experiencing an unprecedented period of expansion. The territories conquered during the reign of the first two caliphs, Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, brought immense diversity into the fold of the Islamic State. New lands, languages, and traditions posed administrative challenges. To ensure effective governance, Hazrat Usman implemented key reforms, including the appointment of capable governors, streamlining the collection of taxes, and organizing the military. One of his most significant contributions was the compilation of the Quran into a single, standardized script. As Islam spread to non-Arab lands, variations in the recitation of the Quran began to emerge. Hazrat Usman, understanding the potential for confusion, formed a committee of trusted companions to compile the Quran in the dialect of the Quraysh, the language of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The copies were distributed across the empire, while all other variants were respectfully removed. This monumental effort preserved the authenticity and unity of the Quran for generations to come. However, with growth came the inevitable strains of governance. The influx of wealth and resources into the Islamic State created disparities and discontent in some regions. Tribal loyalties, lingering animosities from the pre-Islamic era, and the ambitions of certain factions began to manifest as unrest. Hazrat Usman's appointment of governors from his Umayyad clan, though based on merit, became a source of contention. Critics accused him of nepotism, even though these appointments were often the most practical choices for maintaining stability in a sprawling empire. The rebellious factions exploited these grievances to incite discord. They accused Hazrat Usman of favoring his relatives, despite his transparent and just leadership. The Caliph, with his gentle and forgiving nature, refrained from retaliating harshly against these accusations, hoping to avoid unnecessary bloodshed among Muslims. His humility and unwillingness to shed the blood of fellow believers became both his strength and the cause of his trials. One of the most troubling episodes during Hazrat Usman's caliphate was the rebellion in Kufa and Egypt. Dissidents began spreading false claims, rallying others to question the caliph's decisions. These rebels eventually marched to Medina, seeking to depose Hazrat Usman. Despite their baseless accusations, Hazrat Usman remained calm and dignified. He engaged in dialogue, seeking to resolve matters peacefully, but their intentions were far from genuine. The siege of Hazrat Usman's house in Medina marked the height of the rebellion. For 40 days, the Caliph and his family were confined to their home, cut off from basic necessities. His companions, including Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Zubair, may Allah be pleased with them, offered to defend him, but Hazrat Usman refused, saying, "I do not want to be the cause of bloodshed among Muslims." His commitment to preserving unity, even at the cost of his own life, reflects the profound sense of responsibility he felt as a leader. During the siege, Hazrat Usman continued to demonstrate his unwavering faith. He spent his days reciting the Quran and praying, drawing strength from Allah. Aware that his martyrdom was imminent, he remained at peace, accepting the will of Allah. His last words, as recorded by historians, were a prayer: "O Allah, I seek your help and place my trust in you. Grant me patience in my affliction and bestow upon me the reward of the righteous." The tragic assassination of Hazrat Usman marked a dark chapter in Islamic history. His martyrdom not only resulted in the loss of a just and beloved leader but also marked the beginning of significant turmoil within the Muslim Ummah. The divisions that emerged during his caliphate deepened, leading to conflicts that would affect subsequent generations. Despite the trials he faced, Hazrat Usman's legacy as a leader remains unparalleled. His ability to balance compassion with firmness, his commitment to justice, and his dedication to the welfare of the Ummah are exemplary. He endured the challenges of leadership with grace, always prioritizing the unity of the Muslims over his own safety. His trials remind us of the complexities of governance, especially in times of rapid change, and the importance of patience and steadfastness in the face of adversity. Hazrat Usman's reign was a testament to the values of Islam: humility, generosity, and a deep sense of accountability to Allah. His trials, though challenging, did not diminish his legacy. Instead, they highlighted his character as a leader who remained true to his principles, even in the most trying circumstances. His life and leadership continue to inspire Muslims around the world, serving as a reminder of the virtues of faith, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication to the greater good. The martyrdom of Hazrat Usman Ghani, may Allah be pleased with him, was a moment that forever changed the course of Islamic history. His death, at the hands of rebels who had encircled his home in Medina, marked not only the loss of one of the most revered figures in the early Muslim community but also the beginning of internal division that would have long-lasting effects on the Islamic State. Despite the tragedy, Hazrat Usman's martyrdom is often remembered as the ultimate sacrifice for his faith and his people. His steadfastness and unwavering commitment to justice, unity, and the teachings of Islam throughout his final days remain an enduring lesson in leadership and sacrifice. Hazrat Usman's leadership was marked by a deep sense of justice, humility, and generosity. His governance and reforms, though controversial to some, were always based on his understanding of the needs of the Muslim community. As the third Caliph of Islam, he continued the legacy of his predecessors, Hazrat Abu Bakr and Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, by expanding the Islamic Empire and solidifying its religious and administrative institutions. However, this period of prosperity and expansion was also met with growing internal strife. As the empire expanded, so did the complexity of governing such vast territories. The distribution of wealth, political appointments, and the growing influence of different tribal factions led to dissent, especially from those who felt marginalized by Hazrat Usman's policies. His practice of appointing relatives and close companions to key positions, although based on merit, was perceived by many as nepotism. Some critics argued that this favoritism fueled a sense of injustice among the Muslim community. Despite these criticisms, Hazrat Usman remained patient and forgiving, always seeking to uphold the unity of the Ummah and the principles of Islam. The situation reached a breaking point when rebels from Kufa and Egypt, discontent with Hazrat Usman's leadership, marched towards Medina. They accused the Caliph of corruption, favoring his Umayyad clan, and neglecting the needs of the people. These accusations were, for the most part, unfounded, yet the seeds of division had already been planted. As the rebels gathered outside his house, the Caliph faced an impossible choice: defend himself and risk bloodshed or surrender to the demands of those who sought his removal. Hazrat Usman, always the embodiment of peace and patience, chose the latter. He did not want to provoke violence within the Muslim community, so he refrained from taking up arms against the rebels. His refusal to engage in bloodshed exemplified his commitment to unity, even at the cost of his own safety. The siege of Hazrat Usman's home lasted for over 40 days. During this time, the Caliph remained calm and composed, continuing to recite the Quran and offer prayers. His home was surrounded, cut off from supplies, and the situation grew more dire with each passing day. Hazrat Usman's family and supporters, including some of the greatest companions of the Prophet Muhammad (PBUH), were present, offering their protection. However, Hazrat Usman, with his characteristic humility, refused to let them defend him with force. Instead, he remained patient, trusting in Allah's will. His final moments were filled with resolve and devotion to Allah. Despite being besieged, Hazrat Usman did not waver in his faith. He spent his time reading the Quran and reflecting on the gravity of his position as a leader. His martyrdom, when it eventually came, was not the result of an impulsive act of violence, but rather the culmination of political turmoil and the rebellion against his rule. The rebels, with no sense of honor, broke into his home and assassinated the Caliph while he was sitting quietly, reciting the Quran. The news of Hazrat Usman's death sent shockwaves throughout the Muslim world. The calm, just, and pious ruler had been taken from them in an act of senseless violence. His death, however, also became a powerful symbol of sacrifice. Hazrat Usman had always been a man of peace, one who sought to avoid conflict and maintain unity. Yet, in his final moments, he had become a martyr for his unwavering commitment to Islam, his people, and his belief in justice. His death marked the beginning of a new phase in Islamic history, one that would be characterized by internal conflicts and divisions. Despite the tumult and unrest that followed his martyrdom, the legacy of Hazrat Usman lived on. His sacrifice highlighted the moral courage and piety that had defined his life. His leadership had been one of dedication to the Muslim Ummah, and his martyrdom cemented his place as one of the most revered figures in Islamic history. Hazrat Usman's legacy continues to serve as a reminder to all Muslims of the importance of steadfastness in the face of adversity, the value of unity, and the immense sacrifices made for the preservation of the faith. In the end, Hazrat Usman's martyrdom was not just a tragic end to his life, it was a turning point in the history of the Islamic Empire. His death was a powerful reminder of the dangers of division, the importance of leadership grounded in justice, and the need for unwavering faith in Allah. His ultimate sacrifice laid the foundation for future generations to reflect on the trials faced by those who serve Allah's cause, and to remember the legacy of a man who gave his life for the betterment of his people and the preservation of Islam. The life of Hazrat Usman Ghani, may Allah be pleased with him, offers timeless lessons for all Muslims, embodying virtues such as generosity, patience, humility, and unwavering faith in Allah. As the third Caliph of Islam, his contributions to the growth of the Muslim Ummah were immense, and his character continues to inspire Muslims around the world. However, it is not only his achievements in governance and leadership that are noteworthy but also the lessons we can learn from his personal qualities and the challenges he faced. One of the most prominent lessons from Hazrat Usman's life is the importance of generosity and sakawat charity. He was known for his vast wealth, but what set him apart was his willingness to give it all for the welfare of the Muslim community. He was generous to the extent that he bought wells for the public in Medina, such as the famous well of Ruma, which had previously been under the control of a Jewish man who charged high prices. Hazrat Usman Ghani's act of purchasing it and making it available for all Muslims to access without charge reflected his deep sense of compassion and his understanding that wealth is a trust from Allah, meant to be used in service to others. His generosity extended not only to financial matters but also to supporting the spread of Islam, funding military expeditions and ensuring the well-being of the Muslim community. Another lesson from Hazrat Usman's life is patience in the face of adversity. Despite facing challenges from within the Muslim community, including growing discontent during his reign as Caliph, Hazrat Usman remained patient and did not resort to anger or violence. His response to the rebellions that ultimately led to his martyrdom is a powerful example of how to maintain composure during difficult times. Rather than retaliating or engaging in bloodshed, Hazrat Usman trusted in Allah's will and chose to preserve the unity of the Ummah, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. His patience and resolve in the face of political turmoil offer a valuable lesson for Muslims today, emphasizing the importance of staying calm and relying on Allah during times of hardship. Hazrat Usman's life also teaches the importance of leadership based on justice and integrity. His rule was marked by both periods of prosperity and significant internal conflict. He implemented reforms that were beneficial to the growth of the empire, such as standardizing the Quran and ensuring its widespread distribution, a monumental contribution to preserving the words of Allah for generations to come. However, his leadership also faced criticism for his appointment of family members to important positions, which some saw as favoritism. Despite the criticisms, Hazrat Usman never compromised on his principles of justice and integrity. His leadership style reminds us that even in the face of criticism, one must remain committed to righteousness and not be swayed by the opinions of others. The final and perhaps most poignant lesson from Hazrat Usman's life is sacrifice for the greater good. His martyrdom marked the ultimate sacrifice for the preservation of Islam and the unity of the Muslim Ummah. Despite the personal cost, Hazrat Usman did not seek to protect his life through violent means. His death served as a turning point in Islamic history, highlighting the dangers of division within the Muslim community. His willingness to lay down his life for the cause of Islam teaches us the importance of prioritizing the collective good over personal desires or ambitions. Hazrat Usman Ghani's life serves as a beacon of moral guidance, illustrating the qualities that every Muslim should aspire to embody: generosity, patience, justice, integrity, and the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. His example continues to guide Muslims in how to lead a life of virtue, even in the face of challenges, and how to serve the community with sincerity and dedication. In remembering Hazrat Usman, we are reminded of the enduring power of faith and the importance of upholding these timeless values in our daily lives.